in the 20th century and abandoned during the 1960s because the problem of the visual recovery, because there is a lot of interface opacity, and the Baracar is a microkeratomy used for resection in both host and donor graft in early 90s. Reemergence of lamellar keratoplasty is in form of DALK, the deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty, and posterior lamellar keratoplasty because of quick recovery, and surgeons are able to transplant selective corneal tissue transplantation where there is a stomal opacity, surgeon able to transplant stoma only, where there is a fault in the endothelium, surgeon are able to transplant endothelium. Then improved technique is PLK because of artificial anterior chamber, microkeratodes, and definitely there is a good quality of tissue due to the eye bank specular microscopy. If you see the timeline, Dr. Edward Jam first done the corneal grafting in 1905, and Millis technique is posterior lamellar keratoplasty was invented in 1998, and Terry's deep lamellar endothelial keratoplasty just 1 year after the Millis technique of PLK. And 2003, there is a Millis and Frank Price, both innovation is DSEK, and these DSEKs is changed the surgeons as well as the patient's life. And 2004, there is a in DSEK automated cutter was used by Garovai, and femtosecond DSEK was introduced in 2006, and there is a constant quest for improved technology for DMEK. If you see the levels of dissection in PLK, there is a dissection of recipient cornea 100 to 150 micron of posterior lamella. In DLEK, it is 50 to 100 micron of the posterior lamellae, and it dissect. It is need to remove only the desmate, that is a 10 micron, and the DMEK, all the same procedure is followed. DLEK was introduced as a both type, large incision and the small incision. Large incision give the small incision give the better result definitely than the large incision, and it preserves the corneal topography, and the results is very little change in the astigmatism from in pre-op. But the problem was the instrumentation, because you have to handle all the long-headed curved scissor into the anterior chamber, and there is a definitely interface problem. Both interface was dissected manually, but if you introduce microkeratome, definitely the cost of the surgery is increased. And another problem is it has a own limitation, that is a steep learning curve. If you compare the DLEK and the DSEK, in the DSEK, in the recipient bed, we remove only 100 to 150 posterior lamella, that is the posterior stoma, desmate, and endothelium. And in DSEK, for the recipient, we remove only the desmate and endothelium, that is only 10 micron. So it is technically very difficult if you consider DLEK, and it is technically very, very easy in case of DSEK. And DSEK, what are the advantages of DSEK? It's a faster visual recovery, a better visual quality, very least astigmatism, even no irregular astigmatism, minimize traumatic rupture as happened in the full thickness keratoplasty, less follow-up visit, less steroid, no suture related complaint, and definitely less graft rejection and infection. But what are the disadvantages? Definitely there is a donor dislocation, but it improves with it's very less in the experienced hand, higher degree of iatrogenic graft failure, pupillary block glaucoma, and needs a artificial anterior chamber as a relatively longer operating time, but with experience it really dissect. Dr. Bosak, I used to say Dr. Bosak finished his dissect within the 10 minutes of time. and still it is right here that steeper learning curve, but it is really now it's become much easier when the technique discussed in the forum. Now it's become very not so much steep learning curve. I'm not showing this video here in for DSEK. We need a artificial antechamber, and we manually dissect the cornea, and DSEK we use microkeratome for preparation of the graft. DSEK and DSEK difference is the cost. Definitely you need a costly microkeratome, and definitely DSEK has DSEK has a advantage of smoothness of surface, and definitely there may be there is a less interface opacity, and consistency of flap thickness is very important, which is consistent in case of DSEK, and it is technically much easier than the manual dissection. Thicker flap, if you use the 300 micron blade, definitely you get, if you your tissue is a 600 micron, you left your graft will be the almost 600 micron flap thickness. But if you able to do manually, you are experienced enough, you are able to make a much thinner flap in manual dissection. Now this is a new technique, is a ultra thin dissect. This has become very popular. The first dissection is basically debulking using 300 micron, and after doing the pachymetry, we can refinement with the 50 or 90 micron head. Femtosecond procedure, definitely femtosecond cut the desired level depth with the diameter of 5.9 millimeter, and again it's the same like a DSEK or DSEK. You can punch from the endothelial side. This is a study published in the Archives of Ophthalmology, and 11 case was done. Graft dislocation is 20% in femtosecond DSEK. Pupillary block was 5%, epithelial ingrowth was 5%. This is very comparative to other part of the other complication of DSEK. Cost is definitely a prohibiting factor for the femtosecond DSEK. And DMEK, this is a new technique. There is no interface problem, no tissue addition near the normal anatomy, and larger graft size. If you compare the DSEK, full thickness keratoplasty and DMEK, in average DMEK you can able to transplant 9.5 to 10 millimeter of graft, and that's why you are able to the area is almost 40%, 48% more than full thickness keratoplasty. So in that case you are basically able to transplant more and more endothelial tissue. But it is a very technically difficult, because the whole descemet become a roll, and endothelial surface is the outer surface. In donor tissue preparation may be more critical in the DMEK than the other posterior lamellar keratoplasty. The presence of posterior stromal tissue provides a body or facilities handling in DSEK or DSEK. As I told, it's a role basically you have to very carefully handle in case of DMEK. So main prohibiting factor is it's a very technically difficult surgery, and if you consider that posterior lamellar keratoplasty, still DSEK and DSEK is a gold standard because results are so good. Thank you very much.